So in this video, I'm going to be making index numbers, starting with the price index, which has three equations. The first one is the price relative, which is for when you are calculating for a single item. And then we have the composite price index. That's when you are calculating for multiple items. So you have the first, which is the Laspeyres price index, in which you hold the quantity constant at the base period. Then you have the Paasche price index, which is where you hold the quantity constant at the current period. And then similarly, we have a quantity indexes. So you have first the quantity relative, which is when you're calculating the percentage change in the quantity of a single item. Then there's again the composite, which is the weighted aggregate quantity index. It has the Laspeyres, which is when you're holding the price constant at the base period, and then the Paasche, which is where you're holding the price constant at the current period. So I'm going to do questions to show you how you calculate for each of these. So the question says, the following table indicates the unit price in rands and quantities of three intermediate products consumed by a Durban factory for the months of January and April of 2023. So you have three items. You have mirrors, wipers, and cable ties. Then they've given you the prices and the quantities for 2023. And then the two other columns are the price and the quantity for April 2023. Question 2.1 says, using the January 2023 as the base period, compute the quantity relatives in April 2023 for mirrors and cable ties. Then interpret your answer. So since it is for quantity relative, means we are going to use the first equation of Q1 over Q0 times 100. We're going to use this equation. So for cable ties, quantity relative. It's Q1 over Q0 times 100. So that would be 5,350 divided by 5,500 times 100. And then that would give 97.27. So if the index number is 92.27, it means it's less than 100, meaning there's a percentage decrease. Then the percentage decrease would be the difference between this number and 100. So that means there's a 2.73% decrease in the quantity. And then they wanted for two things. They wanted for the quantity relative for mirrors as well. So for mirrors, taking from the same equation, it's going to be 3,500 divided by 3,000 times 100. Then that gives 106.67. So 106.67 is greater than 100. So that means that there's a 16.67% increase in the quantity of mirrors. Then moving on to the next question, 2.2. So the question says, again using 2023 as a base period, compute the Paasche price index for all of the products for April 2023 and interpret your answer. So since it wants Paasche price index, then we are going to use this equation. The sum of P1 Q1 divided by the sum of P0 Q1 multiplied by 100. So it means for this question 2.2, we have the sum of P1 Q1 divided by the sum of P0 Q1 multiplied by 100. Means first, for the sum of P1 Q1, you're going to multiply the third column by the fourth column after the products, right? Because that is the P1 Q1. So for mirrors, it's going to be 105.2 multiplied by 3,500 plus 109 times 6,500 plus 31 times 5,350. Then divided by P0 Q1. P0 is written there is the first column after the product, and then Q1 is the last column. So it's gonna be 93.7 times 3,500 plus 107 times 6,500 plus 29 times 5,350 multiplied by 100. Then that would give okay, so that is the final answer would be 105.43. However, I'm just going to also put the simplified version before we get to the final answer. Okay, so the simplified version would be 105.2 times 3,500 plus 109 times 6,500 plus 31 times 5350. It's 124. 3550. So yeah, when you simplify this, it's supposed to give you 105.43. Yes, it's 105.43. So 105.43 is greater than 0. This means that there's a 5.43% increase in the price of the intermediate products when you hold the quantity constant by April 2023. Okay, so the next question. The next question is question 3, which is 15 marks. So it says the following table indicates the unit prices and quantities of 3 goods purchased every month by a cafe for the years 2020 and 2023. And they have the table that has 3 goods: egg, rice, and roll. It says 3.1, using 2020 as the base year, compute the price relatives in 2023 for eggs and rice and interpret your answers. So again, they want the price relative, meaning that we have to use this equation. So for eggs, the price relative is P1 over P0 times 100. For eggs, we're going to have P1, which is given by 2.2 divided by 1.7 multiplied by 100. And we are using 1.7 as the denominator because it is the P0 is the price at the base year, since the question has told you that 2020 is the base year. So this would give us 2.2 divided by 1.7. That's 129.41. So this means since 129.41 is more than 100, there's a 29.41% increase in the price of eggs between 2020 and 2023. The question also wanted for rice. So for rice again, be P1 over P0 times 100. P1 is 102, then P0 is 89. Multiply by 100. That is 114.61. Again, 114.61 is greater than 100, so it means there's a 14.61% increase in the price of rice. So that's how you calculate the price relative. The question 3.2 says, again using 2020 as the base year, compute the Laspeyres price index for all the goods for 2023, then interpret your answer. Then they wanted the Laspeyres price index. So we're going to use this equation, the sum of P1 Q0 divided by the sum of P0 Q0 multiplied by 100. Right, because the Laspeyres is where we hold the quantity constant at the base period. Okay, let me start this on a new page. Okay, so the sum of P1 Q0, you're going to multiply contents that are on the third column after the goods and the column next to it, the second column in 2020, right? Because that is P1 Q0. So it would be 2.2 multiplied by 1,200 plus 102 times 47 plus 3.5 times 3,200 divided by P0 Q0. Then you're going to multiply contents that are on the first column after the goods and the second column. So it's going to be 1.7 multiplied by 1,200 plus 89 times 47 plus 3 multiplied by 3,200 multiply by 100. And then let's write this in simplified form. 2.2 times 1200 plus 102 times 47 plus 3.5 times 3200. Then that gives 18,634. Then the denominator 1.7 times 1200 plus 89 times 47 plus 3 times 3200. That gives 15,823. So here the final answer would be 18,634 divided by 15,823 times 100. And then that gives 170.77. Okay, I'll just confirm that by calculating linearly. 2.2 times 1200 plus 102 times 47 plus 3.5 times 3200 divided by 1.7 times 1200 plus 89 times 47 plus 3 times 3200 times 100. So yes, I got the correct answer. It's 117.77. So what that means is that there's a 17.77% increase in the price of all items when you hold quantity constant in 2020. Since we're using Laspeyres and we know that we hold the quantity constant at the base period, then we know that is if we hold the price constant, the quantity constant in 2020. And then the last question has given you the table that has the bread, milk, and bleach. It says the following table indicates the unit prices and quantities of 3 goods consumed every month by a household for the years 2020 and 2022. They've given you bread, milk, and bleach, as well as the price and quantities for 2020 and 2022. Said using 2020 as the base year, compute the price relatives in 2022 for bread and bleach and compute your answer. So at this point, you all know that the price relative is P1 over P0 multiplied by 100. It means you're going to calculate that for bleach and bread as the question asks. So for bread, this would be 19.7 divided by 13.7 multiplied by 100. And that is 143.8. Again, we at this point know that that means it's a 43.8% increase. And then for bleach, this would be 33 divided by 29 multiplied by 100. And that is 113.79. Again, we know that this means that a 13.9% increase in the price of bleach. Okay, then the next question asks you to says again compute using 2020 as the base year the Paasche quantity index for all the goods for 2022. So the Paasche quantity index is where we hold the price constant at the current period. Remember this is quantity index, meaning it is the price that is being held constant. So the equation for Paasche quantity index is given by the sum of P1 Q1 divided by the sum of P1 Q0 multiplied by 100. So in this equation, the sum of P1 Q1, we're going to multiply the second last column with the last column. Right, so it's 19.7 times 35 plus 29 times 22 plus 33 times 6. Then we divide by P1 Q0. So P1 is the second last column and the first column that shows the price. Right, so it's gonna be, no, it's the second last column and the one next to it that's written Q0 there. So it's 19.7 multiplied by 30 plus 29 times 25 plus 33 times 5 multiplied by 100. So simplifying this would give 19.7 times 35 plus okay, this is 1525.5. $1,481 multiplied by 100. So this is 103.00. So what this means again is that there's a 3% increase. So that is how you calculate the index numbers, that the questions can come in different forms. We have discussed all the possible questions that they could ask you for the price index or the quantity index. Thank you for watching. See you on the next video.